For my little kindergartner and first grader, we are combining those 2 grades into 3 years. And this is why, part of why I love homeschooling is that I am taking my learner where she's at and helping her to enjoy those gentle years, and her learning is slow, it's intentional, and she's going to be successful by the time she ends her first grade, which will be her 3rd year in that cycle that we've created. I shared a little bit about what her first year looked like. The 2nd year looks very, very similar. So I'm just gonna share right now in case some of you wanted to see or it's something you're interested in doing. She turned 6 this year, about mid-year, and Charlotte Mason advised to not do school until a child is 6. We see children being pushed to learn to read way too soon. At age 3 or age 4, even 5 is too soon. If they're very interested, we can put materials and little letters in front of them. That is wonderful. They can learn their sounds. They can learn those letters. But let's not push them before they're ready. I love this analogy from A Delectable Education. It was that we don't want teenagers to drive before they're developmentally ready. We don't want to put 13, 14, 15-year-old drivers out on the road. And in the same way that we have to wait until they're 16 for them to be developmentally ready, we need to wait until our children are ready. And sometimes that's 6, but sometimes it can be 7 or 8. And they will catch up to their peers, but they will feel blessed that you've given them that time. They will feel confident in who they are and that you're not pushing them to learn something too fast or too soon. So the primary curriculum that we're using for kindergarten is God's creation from A to Z from My Father's World. I use this kindergarten curriculum for my older 2. I absolutely love it. It goes through the alphabet, but not in order. So it starts, I believe, with S, M, N, T, A, and you can begin to make words with those letters. Every single week has a grid that you go through and you learn about a concept. So water. For water, you're going to learn Jesus gives my spirit living water to drink. And then you have a Bible verse, and each day you can go through some of these. I don't follow this to a T. I read the Bible story. I like to have a little card for her. The curriculum also has a nice letter card. I have added some materials from my own blog that I have some more Bible verses from Singing Songs for Saplings or from Sing the Word. So we just go over those really gently together, and we also do some of the worksheets. For every single week, you're going to have some worksheets. They can cut those out and put them in envelopes, or you can just use them as they suggest. Coloring, again, we don't use them exactly the way they say, but I love that every single week has a little sheet here. Now she's beginning to read those 3-letter words and it becomes a little book. Before then, it was little pictures with simple words like Anne or Sam, hid, or any of those shorter words, CVC, consonant, vowel, consonant words. So that is a wonderful little curriculum. Every single week, there's a little craft you can create. And again, you can pick and choose what you want. For me, I love simplicity. Sometimes I'm going to jump all in and do the fun things. I'm going to do the little science experiment or get all the books they suggest for W, but sometimes I'm not, and that's okay. I've added some additional things for her, and the reason for that is my older kids, I lay out their schoolwork in the evening, and when they wake up, they like to do it. My son especially, he wants to get it done. He is motivated to do it, and then I work together with him, taking a look at it, doing his math lesson, doing his oral narrations. That's what works for us. So she sees her older siblings, and I wanted to give her some things to do too. So I love the Gather Round Letters and Numbers series. It's very good and it's very solid. So she did 1 and 2 when she was 4 and 5 years old. And now she is in 3 and 4. Now she's in 4, and this is up in the air. And so all of the animals, or even you're going to see airplanes or hot air balloons, it's going to be based on something in the air. Butterflies, bees. This is a stork. They have a coloring book, which my daughter loves to color. So even flying fish are in it, which is a little goofy. But the coloring book is an add-on. And then for the workbook, I'll just set this little page out and she'll find success in that. She knows her vowel sounds and she wrote in those vowel sounds. I really love this curriculum she's learning. Count the 15 feathers. We might put some objects out for her to use. They also come with some little books and things. She drew the cutest little golden eagle right there. It's so adorable. She really loves this. Now, if she didn't love it, I wouldn't put it out for her. We do together come together, and also we work through The Good and the Beautiful, the newest edition for level K. I just want to reiterate, the reason I'm doing kindergarten and first grade together for 3 years is so I can slow things down. We're not doing everything every day. And some days, like Mondays, we have a co-op, we're not even going to be opening up seat work. So just keeping that in mind. For their level K, this is advanced. I consider this a first grade curriculum because it starts out with a child already knowing their sounds and their letters and reading those 3-letter words, CVC words. So you're, just keep that in mind too. So this is a first grade type curriculum. It goes very slow and very gentle though, and I really love that. This, you're going to see your spelling, your reading, writing, phonics. It includes some geography concepts and some art. I think it is very sweet, and from The Good and the Beautiful. She's also doing The Good and the Beautiful math, and we're in the second book of their former K program. We had this before they came out with their newer Simply Math. We love it, and we're just going to continue on with her book. And she is close to being done, and then after that, she'll start their first grade Simply Math program. And this is just nice to go through. She's learning. We use the Rec and Rec all the time. I highly recommend this. It helps your child to recognize those 5s and really get a great number sense. That's huge. At the beginning, when your child is 2, 3, 4, you want them to recognize 3s and that there's a middle for 3s. And then for 5, for them to be able to look and not count it anymore is so important. So this program goes through that. There's a lot of 5 work, but we have bought this Rec and Rec. It's $12 on Amazon. Love that so much. So she loves that. And also there's a calendar and oh, this is adorable. So my place value chart, and see some days, look, back in May, we only did a couple days, and that was fine because I'm doing her K and 1 in 3 years together. She's done 82 days of math. Very sweet. Now I'm gonna show you some of the books that we've loved. Their beginner book set, they're discontinuing this, so I think it's on sale right now, but I love these little books, 3-letter words and a couple sight words in those. And then with their program, level K, the current level K that they have booster cards is what they call this book. Reading Booster Cards A matches with level K, and then Booster Books A, and then your first nature reader. All of these are wonderful. She isn't quite, she's reading a couple of these books because she's only reading CVC words along with a couple sight words like the, see, look, love, go, we, she, he. So she's starting to get those, but it's really slow and really gentle. I taught kindergarten, and I just found that the kids are being pushed too fast and they didn't have the time to play and create. Small parts work, nature time, sensory time, free art, all the things that kids need. I wanted to make sure I provided for her. So she is often doing art with her sister, creating. She just got a little hedgehog little toy from the dentist, and she just made this out of paper a hedgehog little home with a bed and food and water, and it's adorable. She thought of that and she built that, and all day she worked on that. It's amazing that I love providing those times for her and creating that environment so she feels just ready and free to be able to do those things. We also have, lastly, a set of alphabet books that I love to go through. Now, I'm going through this along with My Father's World. So we're about halfway through. So every new letter, and in that case, I showed you some E and I showed you some H, we're going to open up these books. So I have this set of books. I keep them in order so I know what I've done. I do about 2 a day. Just really simple. So the Christian Liberty Nature Reader for letter H is going to be hippo. And we're going to just read about the hippo. And that's a little bit of science practice. A is for art, enjoying some beautiful art. And we're just going to look at the picture and look together. And what do we notice? Perfect for gentle learning. So I do about 2 of these a day. This one is a Waldorf book. And for letter H, hip, hip, hooray. And you're going to see that beautiful H. If she wants, she can take some of her molded crayons and even create an H in a little book. I tried to do that more consistently a while back, and it just didn't work for us in our homeschool setting. But another really great way to help alphabet work is to make those alphabet books. Like this, another Waldorf alphabet book. Letter P, you're going to look at all the items that begin with P. Just really opens the door to creating stories. You can create stories based on those pictures, so many options. I also love these alpha tales. For each letter, there is a fun story. And this whole compilation includes all 26 stories, so it's wonderful. And it has high alliteration. This kangaroo has a yellow kazoo. She plays it in the spring. So you're going to see a lot of K words in that fun little story. I use that for kindergarten teaching. Cuisinart alphabet book. I tear out the page for the day and put out our Cuisinart rods, and that's great learning sizes and familiarity with numbers, even without thinking about it. Some devotional books are Big Thoughts for Little People. Every single page has a letter. So we do a letter theme. We'll finish that up probably this year, and then we'll continue to move on with her first grade year. So here is Animals of the Bible, looking at the letter and just reading some fun facts about those animals. This one is from My Father's World, God's Amazing World, and it's going to talk about whatever the subject was. For zebra, I can't hide anything from God, and then going to read about zebras and where they are in the world. And then she also has been creating this sweet alphabet book. Let's find a page. M is for mouse. She wrote the word mouse and she drew an adorable little mouse. And she will have this at the end of her K first grade year. So hopefully that's given you some ideas. I just encourage you, if you're just starting, you don't need to have all this. The Good and the Beautiful curriculum is wonderful for both language arts and math. I recommend having some little books, and reading aloud, getting out in nature is what's most important. Spending time together and being intentional with that time you have together.